Good morning, and welcome to the Rankin Report for Sunday, September 25th, 2022. From the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verses 18 and 19. When I say to a wicked person, you will surely die, this is the Lord speaking, and you do not warn them or speak out to dissuade them from their evil ways in order to save their life, that wicked person will die for their sin, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the wicked person, and they do not turn from their wickedness or from their evil ways, they will die for their sin, but you will have saved yourself. And this next quote is not scripture, but I think it does a pretty good job of condensing that down to a simple phrase. And this is from Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Christian pastor in Germany and martyr. Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. Last night, an event took place about an hour away from where we are located in rural Texas. First Christian Church of Katy, Texas, part of the Disciples of Christ denomination, hosted a drag bingo event, which was open to all ages from 5 to 8:30 p.m. After 8:30 p.m., it was only for adults 18 and older. In addition to the drag performers, members of the group Antifa were at the event to protect the participants, from what I don't know, but still, while organizations like America's Mom and their allies stood in opposition to the event. As far as I know, there was no untoward incidents, there was no violence, nobody was hurt, and both parties kept to their respective side of the road. Although a couple people from America's Mom went to the Antifa members and spoke with them. Not shouted or screamed or cursed, excuse me, but merely spoke with them, talked with them, tried to get a fix on why they were there. Most folks who live in large cities now have reached the point where this sort of thing is just another day in paradise, as it were. But for you who live like I do in rural areas, as Katy used to be, it's now considered more part of the Houston Metroplex, this is merely a preview of coming attractions. The enemies of the gospel, those who promote this and other similar agendas, are branching out now to the country where many people still worship on Sunday, still love America, and who do not necessarily take kindly to this sort of thing. It is an escalation of the cultural war we are in right now as a nation. So what do we do about it? I have been saying for quite some time now, the most important thing is to wake up and face the situation we are in. Excuse me. Too many churches are still just getting by with what to preach on Sunday and Wednesday, how to bring more people into the pews on those days so that they can participate in the never-ending fundraiser. While all the while, the war rages on outside our doors, and our heritage as a nation is under siege. One way to succeed in, or one way to help people wake up, is to read a new book by one of my favorite authors, Eric Metaxas, entitled simply A Letter to the American Church, which is published by Salem Books. I would describe Letter as a kind of follow-up to Metaxas's epic 2010 biography of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German patriot who set himself against the Nazis in Germany during the 30s and 40s, to the point where he became involved in the Valkyrie plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler, and was executed for his role in the same. In that book, Metaxas put together a kind of one-stop shop for Bonhoeffer's theology, which can be summarized in the quote that I just read earlier. He then breaks down why that belief led Bonhoeffer to challenge the Führer, leader, principle of Hitler, and how he also found himself fighting against the mainstream German church of his day, which had the potential to stop the Nazi juggernaut, yet kept silent. In letter, Metaxas applies Bonhoeffer's theology to our modern conflict in this country and asks a disturbing question. Is the church in America today becoming the German church of the 1930s? The failure of the German church to stop the rise of the Nazis, or at least to oppose them, led to catastrophic consequences for Germany and, by extension, many other nations subjected to their evil. Now, were they the only factor involved? No, of course not. Other countries didn't see the evil rising or thought, oh, no, Hitler's just saying that to get votes. They didn't see what was coming. Hitler could have been stopped at many points along the way by other countries, and they failed. But if the church in Germany had taken a stand early on against what Hitler was preaching, it would have ended the thing right then and there. So the failure of the German church to act led to catastrophic consequences for Germany and, by extension, many other nations subjected to their evil. Metaxas's argument, however, is that if the American church does not speak up and stand against the evil that is trying to gain control of our nation, and has well advanced in that department, the consequences of our failure will be global. Excuse me. And the world, if I may throw in a quote by Winston Churchill, will be thrown into a new dark age, made more sinister and perhaps more protracted by the lights of perverted science. I'm not going to go into a full review of the book here, because first, I'm still reading it, and second, I want you to read it too. I cannot stress the second point strongly enough. I'm not exactly what you might call a big influencer on the internet, but if you won't listen to me, maybe you'll listen to Metaxas. One way or another, this message needs to get across to this nation. So buy it, borrow it at the library, whatever you need to do, but read it, get it into your spirit, and then ask the Lord what He would have you do. The battle is already joined, and it's coming to your small town sooner or later. What will you do? What will you do? That's the Rankin Report for Sunday, September 25th, 2022. God bless you. Have a great day.